Yeah, we actually had some people watching the Fabula Ultima videos on the YouTube, actually, on the archive. Not a ton of comments, but every so often someone pops in, and all of a sudden there'll be a bunch of people checking it out. Probably one of the few Fab Ultima streams that are presenting the way we do, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Fabula Ultima actually has like a not terrible amount of like press on it right now.
Yeah, well, they had the new book, and everyone's looking at the new stuff as well. Because what we were saying earlier, what was it? The Techno ones come out earlier than we really supposed. But hey, it's out, so hooray! I have to get it.
Yeah,
at some
I still
point.
haven't. Yeah, I was gonna say I still haven't picked it up yet.
Here. Oh, I banned anyone who says first. Sorry, Rune. One of the unwritten rules you see in the...
Well, if it's not written, how would I know it's a rule? I was just trying to be funny anyway, because I actually hate that too. Like, I totally posted first, ironically, but, you know, it's about as well known to you as me knowing that it's an unwritten rule that I can't say it.
Oh, righty. Hello, everyone. I'm AD Springer, also known as Corbinian, and this is the Electric Metropolis video game tour. And today we are playing Fabula Ultima, the castle that would pierce the horizon, using the Fabula Ultima JRPG TTRPG released by Games. We're saying there's new books coming out. Totally check them out. We really enjoy ours. Well, at least I do. Everyone else here just suffers. They just play along. Where's our little... There we go. Poem of the week. In ancient times, where shadows lie, Thalios the sage met darkness nigh. With staff of ebony, eyes of flame, he ventured forth to seek his fame. While Rena ruled, sorceress dark, her magic twisted, left its villages fell, lights snuffed out. In her grip, none shout. Thalios rose from misty vale, journeyed deep to tell his tale. Called out Orwenna with voice so clear, "Face me now, bring shadows near." Orwenna emerged, cloak of dusk, eyes that gleamed, molten tusk. "Foolish sage," he hissed with scorn, "in my realm your hope is torn." Shadows danced, light met dark. Energy crackled, left its mark. Neither could claim the final blow, balanced powers, stalemate so. Rowena fled to shadows deep, to build her strength, her power to keep. Thalios retreated, weary but bright, to grim watches keep, hidden from sight. Both bided time, their power to grow, for a final clash, a decisive blow. Through champions, their fate entwined, the Darkland balance yet to find. And look to Rimwatch in the Darklands, as Aether rejoins with Zevin and Aventus and more to, as you're all, I believe you're all beginning to shop, and as I recall, Zevin reminded me that there was some extra shopping she wanted to do before the meeting.
Yes. I was going to look for, I believe it's Desperado's coat or something. Something with enough pockets.
The coat of many pockets. Desperate.
Well, if Fabula Ultima fashion is anything like modern women's fashion, Zevin's in trouble.
Uh-oh.
Nah, this is an alternate culture group. They actually think women need pockets for some amount of time.
Yeah. I was thinking the same thing. That's great.
No, this is just a style pocket. What the hell's a style pocket? I want a real pocket.
No! How else is she just gonna pick up random junk and put it in her pockets? She doesn't have any.
You just
The
want
one thing that can stop her thievery.
I don't know why, but I'm reminded of the old, corrupt a wish game. I wish for a coat of 1,000 pockets. Wish granted. However, they're all fashion pockets.
God. Oh, it's so twisted.
Isn't that great?
Oh, perfect. I had already refreshed my trade points and inventory.
I will say, are you looking for like a proper jacket, or are you looking for like a big, like Desperado poncho looking thing with a bunch of pockets? One's an accessory, one's actually armor. Why I ask.
Neither. GM's choice.
Well, I will say that for about 900 Zenith, you can get a sort of Desperado's poncho, like this big, one of those big ones you see in westerns that people wear, a traveler's poncho. That each time the group makes a discovery, you can either refresh your inventory points, or gain 2d6 in Zenith. As you're traveling, you're able to kind of quickly fill up pockets as you make discoveries.
Interesting. I technically don't have anything on the. Does anyone here have any accessories yet?
I believe there's
I'm
gloves
wearing one
floating
that
up
was-
there.
Yeah, where is it? Yeah, I have one, but it's not anything I'm married to. It's like something someone else needed to me since they didn't need it anymore. I'm currently bearing a rough glove, makes me to the weak condition.
I think I'll pass GM.
And for the armor, there is straight up a Desperado coat. You can easily find that for 750 Zenith. When you use Barrage skill, the MP cost is halved. That's something you can easily find.
I'll take it.
Ching.
The Zenith is exchanged. You just dumps the little bag on the counter.
Yeah, you're able to buy that rare item from Cedric Faro, the duchy merchant who is nestled within the dark and militaristic confines of Grimwatch. He's happy to take your money. He's glad to see someone who can afford the rare items. That's kind of why he's settled here, because he knows that travelers may occasionally pass through Grimwatch on their adventures in the Darklands, or on their way to the ocean to head across to the Sultanate.
New armor for me. I will take it. It's mine. It is in my inventory now.
Great.
Hooray.
Do you want to sell your old armor, or do you have old armor to sell?
I have old armor, but I'm keeping it.
Just in case. Well, yeah, because you could have stuff broken. That's worth doing it.
Yeah.
That is worth doing. And it is around this time that Aether, you come upon Zevin and Moore. Lucius is still off doing some purchases somewhere. He's like on the other side of the same market, but he's nearby. But you run into Moore and Zevin, or you run into.
Okay. I'll come hopping up, all excited. More 7, more 7. You're never gonna guess. 7 more, 7 more, more 7. Trying to get their attention, while they're shopping. Being more annoying than anything else, but I'm trying to get their attention in a friendly way.
Oh, check it out. New coat.
Oh.
She
Okay.
strikes a pose that she thinks looks cool.
I'll step back and I'll raise one hand up to the northeast and one to the southwest and make like a square with my fingers and thumbs, and like I'm trying to like put you in a frame and go, I think the color's all wrong.
What?
Nothing. It looks good.
Yeah, apparently the whole raggedy edges, apparently it's like a fashion statement here.
Oh, I just thought it looked cheap.
Hmm.
Well, I mean, what do I know about fashion? Obviously, I'm from nowhere. I don't know anything about what people find fashionable.
You got a point.
I'm sorry.
seeing him?
Oh, I met the Lord of the City. I was
Well,
right. He's
wait, hold
totally
up.
on our side. You're never gonna believe it. He's so cool. That I imagine they just don't believe me, but I don't know. His name is Thalios, and he's like a really long-lived elf, and he's been here for like 1,000 years, and he's been like sort of matching his power against the ruler of the Darklands for like a long time. It's really neat. It looks like we can be very helpful too. Guys?
You just like walked in there?
Well, no, I was scouting out the place to go take a look at it and thinking about a way that I could, like, I don't know, sneak in all stealthy like, when he teleported me up into his top of his tower because he had already seen me. And apparently he like I don't really understand this part completely, but he like totally recognized me, and he claimed that I had been there before, and like apparently a number of times, and that this happens every so many decades or something, and that every time I come back, it's like I'm refreshed and starting over and don't remember what happened before. I didn't really quite catch all that part, and I'm still concerned about it. So maybe smarter people like you two could help me figure that part out. But he's totally really cool, and he was very helpful, and he answered a lot of questions for me. And I know you guys are gonna have a lot of questions for him too. So whenever we're done all shopping and get everybody's attention, maybe we can all get together and I can introduce you. And then I give a big smile.
Huh. I she's gonna take a closer look at her. Like, are you lying? Gonna
I
she gives a kind of one raised eyebrow, one
Sure.
down.
You sort of get the sense that I may be withholding some tiny minor detail if it might be personal, but probably not. Maybe. I'll just kind of look at you with that raised eyebrow and I'll go, well, he didn't throw me in a dungeon. I mean, I'm here.
You have a point. Wizards don't really like people going in their towers, from what I've heard.
Well, I mean, he didn't just invite me up. He just like brought me right up. And he spoke very familiarly with me. Like I can't help but believe what he tells me, because it seems so, it seemed he knows me in a way that even I don't know myself, which is extra concerning, I admit. He's very wise. And then I make big round eyes and I get up close to Mordunk and I say, piercing gaze. He looks right through you.
Interesting.
It's not that disturbing though. It's less disturbing when he does it.
Still says pretty scary. And he said he was friendly somehow.
I think he's kind of sort of. I sort of do that thing with my 2 forefingers, like I'm putting them together, like I'm trying to like look a little embarrassed. And I say, I think he may have been here in the Darklands too long, absorbing dark power while he's, building up his energy for his next match against Morwina or whatever, or his sortie or whatever they call it in a military fashion. But I feel like maybe he might be uh, losing a hold of his inner good nature a little, maybe. Like maybe he needs our help.
Oh boy.
Anyway, shouldn't we like get a hold of Ambrenius too? I know he is our leader, isn't he?
Lucius.
Yeah, Lucius, Ambrenius, and Vibius.
Renius might be a better leader to say. let's go find the others. Someone tells me for taking this job, I'm not getting paid.
I do like your new coat, I promise. It looks very practical.
Oh, speaking of. Well, D6 for it.
Are you feeling lucky?
Well, are you, punk?
As you're walking around in town, you, Aether more can notice more than Zevin does, because Zevin's probably more preoccupied with a little bot and trying to find out how the heck you lost track of Lucius. He was just over there a second ago. Where'd he go? But you two can kind of see that people are giving, as Zevin's passing them, people are making like little gestures like of protection against evil, giving her the side eye as they see her walking through town in outfit.
You mean the new coat?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Lucius was doing some major deal shopping, so we're hoping to hit this side of the market first, then here, but maybe.
I'm just going to lean in close and say I think whoever wore that coat before you may have filled the pockets full of like people's heads or something. The way people are reacting to you in it.
She quietly sticks her hands in her pockets to feel around for people's heads or something.
Your hand hits clatters with spent bullet casing.
Oh,
And you find 2 Zenit rolling around in the other pocket.
Heck yeah, 2 Zenit!
You
This
notice
is totally worth it. This is just the gift that keeps on giving.
Oh, what did I miss?
you turn around to notice that 3 guards are approaching the party of Zevin, Moore, and Aether as you were kind of busy doing shopping still, like you're still looking at stuff while they were running at Aether, and then you turn around. Zevin's in a new like desperado coat, with that's really the kind of thing a sharpshooter would be seen in. But yeah, you notice a lot of people are starting to gather around, like making space for the guards as they seem to stop Zevin from getting to you.
Oh. Lucius is gonna start making his way over to the rest of the group with the guards, where the guards are. Not
I didn't do anything. Not this time.
Why do you bear the emblems of the Sorceress? And people gasp and hold out their hands, and the guards look like they're getting ready to fight you. They're not pointing their spears at you, but they look really nervous around you right now.
I look confused.
I'm going to look over her coat and see if I can spot out Morwina's, emblem on it.
Insight is part of it.
Sure. Let me do a double insight roll on that, Ben, if you don't mind.
Well, I mind a lot, but I don't get to choose yours, so I can only choose half the problem.
I have no idea what that rolled for me, but it looks like a 10.
Looks like a 19.
19, yep.
Oh, I didn't lean in close enough. That is a 19. I'm so sorry. I need to wash my glasses, I think. Okay, 19 then.
Yeah, no, you
that's a really good.
you see woven into the. It takes movement for it to really show up, and you kind of have to look. You're kind of looking for it across, like along the arms, and at the hems. Along the arms, you see there's designs of these undead shadows with long rifles firing in the direction of the sleeve. You see at those ragged edges that you can see that there is the fluttering of what looks to be a tattered banner, which, when you think about it back in your memories, you remember that Morwenna's banner is of a tattered pennant hanging low with an arcane symbol on it. The symbol's missing, like someone must have pried them off. And when you think about it, that symbol's usually encrusted in gems. So they probably took off the gem bit, but the tattered banner shape and with those sleeves, Zevin looks like a sharpshooter who works for Morwenna.
Gotcha.
Then bought the world's worst band shirt.
Yeah, I didn't connect with it right away because I don't remember all this very well, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I will pull on your sleeve and say, I think I know why you got a good deal on that beautiful coat now.
Yeah, because it looks cool and I'm very awesome.
No, it does, but unfortunately, it looks like a defaced military coat of the evil sharpshooters of Morwenna, these people's mortal enemy. I'm gonna lean over to the guard, and I'm gonna say, "You got your receipt with you, right?" And I'm gonna say, "She literally just bought this coat. We didn't know, we totally didn't know. We could prove it.
Oh.
We literally just bought this coat, and she thought it looked cool, and that's all. She didn't know that
Does
it
it
had a
make me look-
military thing on
Does
it.
it make me look cool?
It does make you look cool, but apparently cool is also evil.
No.
But yeah.
She's gonna dig around in her pockets for the bill of sale.
You guys can give me willpower as part of the problem. To convince the guards you're not bad people, I will give you +1, because you literally bought it from Cedric, and if he's a respected merchant, so it's like, no, I literally bought this off the local merchant, just 5 minutes ago.
Did you say willpower and dex? Because she's looking for that receipt.
Sure.
Gotta dig through all the pockets.
There are too many pockets.
Oh no, there are too many pockets. I can't find the receipt.
I'm not sure how much help we can give.
You can roll to assist. You might get that 6 into at least a 7.
Yeah, but I think you need a 7, don't you?
You need at least a 7.
Okay, yeah, I will hope that the previous argument that I just made would be good enough to help. Like my role playing with the guard, trying to convince him that we literally just bought it and we can prove it.
I'll give you willpower as part of it and +1 to your roll, because that's a reasonable argument. You're pointing out what makes total sense.
Sure.
Yeah. I will also attempt to assist.
Sure, okay.
Pointing out that the insignia is defaced and such.
Very good. Well, it's at least at 7. Still at 7.
And apparently not helpful.
Well, isn't a 7 like a a minimal success type thing?
Yeah. So
Okay, good. Well,
the
don't have to keep us
guard-
out of the dungeon.
the guards give you 3 a look. I don't see your bill of sale, but your friends here seem to vouch for you. Fine. Pay a 20 zenit fine for scaring the townsfolk, and you can be on your way. You can share it if it makes you feel better. Guard looks around. Some people around them look at these duchy-looking guards. They aren't happy with this solution, but the duchy guards are the people guarding the market, so they're letting them handle. You can even see the guard doesn't seem terribly thrilled to find you at all, but it's definitely a look of, yeah, I have to do something. I can't just let you go.
Well, I'm not the one wearing the coat. I also only have 20s in it to my name, so I'm not giving any
I
of it
was
up.
going to say,
I'm busted.
wow, Lucius is rubbing off on you.
Yeah. No, it's more like I'm totally broke too.
Oh, can't relate.
What do you do, Zevin?
Zevin's handing over a 20 zenit from her pockets. She digs out of various little pockets. She put it all in. She has over
all
one zenit
split
and
up.
7.
It's all
Then-
split up among all the various pockets.
She
It makes
thought it
you
looked very cool.
well. It also makes it very hard to pickpocket you.
Exactly.
They won't ever get all of it.
Yeah, exactly. They can't steal all of it because it's spread out among like 20 pockets.
The guard counts it visibly, so the witnesses around your group see how much you paid, and then he puts it into a special pouch away from his normal coin bag. Like it's like a more secured, latched-looking parcel that he walks around with. Basically, what is a fine bag, essentially.
Yeah, like he has to turn it in at the precinct or whatever later.
Yeah. He's like, all right, show's over. You paid the fine. Get about your business. Shoo. No, you two, come on, go away. And the guards manage to get people. Still give you looks there, Zevin. You get the feeling that if you try to socially interact with anyone in this town, there's gonna be a -2 involved. But for now, you've legally paid the fine, and the duchy guards are making sure you're not being bothered anymore.
Illegally, there's nothing anyone can do about it.
Yeah.
I'd
Mind the
to lean
dark
in on
alleys.
If you don't mind, I'd like to lean in on that one guard who has to carry the satchel around as they're getting ready to go, or as we're getting ready to leave, one or the other. But I'd like to lean in on him a little bit and just sort of side-eye him and smile shyly, and then I say, I bet you're not very popular around town, are you?
Our spears point in the same direction, so he gives a look.
No, I mean, I was doing that as like trying to show sympathy.
Yeah, no. He's more of a there's a nod and like he knows he's kind of in trouble right now, but he's like, our spears are pointing in the same direction, so shrug.
Fair enough. But yeah, it's like
He used to have
generally don't
positives.
like
He's now even now. Let's put it that way.
I'll rejoin the group and try to like guide everybody if they're willing to come with me towards the tower.
Lucius just sort of approaches. You now see that he has what sort of looks like this metal, like laurel wreath crown diadem around his, around his forehead, but it's all like it looks like a laurel, but like all the leaves are like very spiky, geometric, sort of.
Somehow that seems very fitting.
So, what did I miss?
You get a fancy crown, I get a visit from the town guards.
And by the looks of it, a rather slick. What is that? What is that?
Because that's
He
a coat you
says,
definitely
like-
wouldn't see in your land.
Yeah.
It's like a
emotion-
duster. Is that what they call it, or is that what you clean mantelpieces with? I think it's called a duster.
Well, it is dusty. I'll give it that.
I thought the skeletons looked cool. Especially this one, who's making a rude gesture.
Skeleton making a.
Most metal desperado chick.
Are
Two
Oh,
shots
Are
for
you the
pop-
kind of person who, if you became a dragon, you'd put like a tattoo of a naked warrior on your back?
No. It's not cool enough.
Okay. Well, You know what is cool?
Spikes on it. I put spikes on it.
You know what's really cool? An elven dark wizard who rules a whole city in the middle of nowhere that nobody knows about, and I can introduce you to him. And I make a big
Really?
smile. Uh-huh. And then I point up at the tower in the middle of the city and say, he's up there. His name is Thalios. Come on, come on, come on.
We've been here, what, 2 hours?
Apparently they're popular. Can't relate.
You'll never believe it, but everything that I dreamed about the guy came true. He really is on our side.
Oh, that's right, we've been here a night.
Yeah. This was you guys were
One night and
shopping
2
the
hours
morning.
in the
Reasonably
morning.
speaking, yeah, reasonably, we've been walking around the city for like
Morning. Yeah. Just this
2,
morning.
3.
Well, I will kind of gather everybody along and head them into the, deeper into the city.
Look at us
Past
sad bunny
the
eyes
guard way
again.
stations.
What was that?
towards the,
Sorry, Zevin?
tower.
If we disagree, but we'll get sad bunny eyes forever.
That's pretty much true.
So yeah, the party descends deeper into the center of the city, and you come upon the tower that pierces high, but just shy of peeking too far over the forest canopy that hides this place. People walk about. You see no guards standing in front of this massive tower.
I'm going to blink a few times and see if I
so-
can get his attention. But yeah, go ahead.
So it is not, in fact, the tower that pierced the horizon.
No, that's a different thing. It's the tower that pierces the sky is a whole different problem, and you don't want to go there. Not at your level.
From this angle, nice and close to it, it looks like it pierces the sky, but it doesn't.
Yeah. It is
Anyway,
definitely the tallest building all around.
Yeah.
You know what? I thought this city couldn't get any more ominous, and yet here we are.
Well, all I know is when I wanted to think about skulking and getting in secretly by watching how the guards went in and out and stuff, that's when I went in. So I figure if we as a group skulk about, he'll notice us and bring us up. And I just grin at the party. Or we can wave our arms like fools, which I'm really not in favor of.
It's your cool wizard friend. Do you know how to get in, or you can just knock? Or...
He didn't give me any way to contact him, did he?
Nope.
Well, I guess I'll just walk up to the guard station at the base of the tower instead.
You see doors, but you see no guards.
Even better, I'll go up to a door. Or I hop up to a door.
Yeah, you see these big, massive double doors that are meant to let wagons, a massive wagon of stuff in and out of, and these big. It's faced with wood. But you can see most of the tower and most of the main buildings of this place. Everything seems to be crafted of a hard, dark metal.
I rap on it with the end of my staff, not my knuckle.
Give me willpower as part of it to see if he notices your presence.
Okay. Can I get a bonus since he already knew I was planning to come back?
I'll give you +2. He knows you. Yeah. He's more likely to notice you're lurking around any random person.
11.
All of you suddenly, the world around you vanishes. And you find yourself on the top of the tower, looking out across the darkened lands, crevice of the forested canyon that this place is hidden in. The wind blowing past all of you, cold and biting. To the back layer. And there you all come upon it appears to be an elfin wizard in long robes and mild streaks of gray across his golden blonde hair.
I sort of just hop in place excitedly, standing like I'm standing still, but I'm sort of bopping up and down excitedly with my arms and my ears flopping. And I'll look,
Idle
turn and look
anim-
at everybody and
idle
say,
animation.
see? I told you. I didn't make it up.
You really
Allow me
haven't.
to introduce you to the great wizard Thalios. Thalios, these are my friends. And I turn and grin at him.
I am Thalios the Sage. I'm led to believe that Aether here trusts you for some amount. Who may you all be? Who'd trouble my guards, shop in our stores, lurk the darkland?
I am Lucius Avantis, scion of the House of Avantis of the noble Republic of Coriostellum. Honored, and he bowed.
Oh, I'm Zevin, I guess. You can call me that. You're actually like a wizard. You did the thing with the bringing us here, but you good wizard or bad wizard?
Wizardry is neither good nor evil in its source. All comes from the energies and elements that surround it. But we do how we act that define us. But I am an arcanist, a sage of magic.
I'm more Duncan, traveling merchant.
What brings you back to my tower, Aether, with your allies in train?
I'll stop hopping so excitedly in place, you know, and try to compose myself, which is very difficult. But Aether manages to compose herself, and she adopts a slightly more serious, you know, mode, if you will.
Mhm.
And Aether says, "Well, I remember the story that you told me about how you're matched up against Morwenna, the witch of the Darklands, and how you've been at a stalemate for a very long time. And I confess that while I don't remember everything that you've told me, it all rings so true when you did tell me. Like it feels right, it feels real. And because of that, I choose to trust you as well as my party. Because I trust you, I wished and hoped that my party would be willing to speak with you and see if there was a way that we could aid you in your current difficulties. Now we're on a quest where we're currently seeking artifacts within the Darklands, and perhaps that may be of some aid to you in the future. I do not know, but if there's a way that we can offer to help you otherwise, I thought it would only seem appropriate for us to let you know and place ourselves at your disposal." And then I turn to the party with like a half smile and say, "If they're so inclined, because I think you need the help."
I believe, Aether, that perhaps the curses of the Sorceress have plagued you even after your recovery, but I mentioned to you last we spoke that should you come upon the umbral quill in ruins near, that I would ask you to lend it to my efforts. Use it to strike a blow against Sorceress. Unless you wish, he looks at the entire party at this point, unless you wish to do something far more direct than something as oblique as lending me artifact you're already seeking.
No, we don't have the umbral quill, do we?
No.
I'm asking again. I didn't think so.
No.
It's one of the items we
That's
have
the-
yet to find. Okay. I confess that after 2 weeks I did forget. Sorry, DM.
That's okay.
Um,
It makes sense for your character to have spotty memory sometimes. It's like,
well, not only that, but I think Aether was so excited that she just, it all washed right out of her head.
Yeah.
So excited to be useful to the group, Well, we haven't found the umbral quill. I don't know if any of the things that we found so far would be of any value or use to you.
Wait. Hold. So he's seeking the same artifacts we're seeking. The duality like narrows her eyes.
Well, he doesn't mean to take it away from us, just to borrow it briefly. And then I'm going to dig around my backpack and I'm going to take out the map. And I'm going to say, I did find this and it might be useful to you to make a bit of a copy of it, or at least get a good look at it. Maybe it will aid you in some way. But I have a true map of the countless realms incomplete right here.
Though that shall be useful in the days when the sorceress is done. For now, the tower of the sorceress moves, shifts like a shadow. Knowing the Darklands as I do, know what already dwells, but not where she hides. So I thank you the offer all the same, Aether. That may be useful later, though.
I'll roll it back up and put it back in its scroll case and put it back in my pack.
And as to you, Zevin the sharpshooter, he raises an eyebrow at your outfit, shakes his head. I seek of the Whispering Ruin artifacts. However, it is only the Umbral Quill that I had need use of. Even then, only in passing. Scribe what I need to scribe. But I am led to imagine that you all are on gathering these things for a much different quest, different cause. And I sense not any effort in your motley assortment that you are joined to the sorceress's aim, even with your attire.
Hey, it looks cool.
It is very striking, yeah.
He must be very learned. He understands fashion.
Yes, he gets it. He gets it. Anyways, we're gathering all the artifacts for the common good and saving people and stuff, all that. You guys are the more inspiring people. You can.
Yes, we do indeed hope to prevent greater calamity from falling the countless realms.
Well, perhaps we can find some way to aid one another then. If we can lend you this quill once we have found it, so that you can scribe what you need to scribe, then perhaps after you have done that, you might be more free to aid us on our journey. Because I'm sure that we will, there may come a time when we might need to call in that favor. What say you, Thalios?
Well, as I shared with you, I would, of course, monetarily reward you for your services to Grimwatch. And with the lending of the Umbral Quill, I can, at least in the short term, gift upon you items that will aid you in your future quests. As for directly aiding you, until the Sorceress is defeated, I will not be able to. I will be the proverbial wizard in his high tower, sagely able to advise as best I can. Cannot journey with you for so long as my battle with the Sorceress can.
I understand. Many orbs to ponder.
In their various colors and shades.
No, there's none involved. All right, for the good, the kingdom, and all that. I'll bring you the quill. All right.
Very good. Is there any other way I could assist you all before you leave my tower?
It seems most appropriate, if this is going to be the case, that if you could perhaps create a spell or a minor device that would allow us to quickly return, or even just send you the quill once we have it, so that we wouldn't have to necessarily turn our entire train around, since we're traveling by train.
He ponders for a moment.
A recall device or something of that nature.
I sadly do
Perhaps
not.
a way to contact you. I don't know.
I sadly do not possess a griffin wing for which to carry you back, since the world and its pillars has been rendered to a land of ancient ruin and strife. The trade upon which only brave merchants dare walk has been strangled to some degree. But should you come upon a griffin wing, that would enable you to whisk yourself back to places you've been to before.
All right.
Unfortunately, I do not have any. Much as I would lend you one if I had but a one.
Thank you very much for that information. At least we'll know what to look for while we're also out searching for the true artifacts.
Are any of you an arcanist by chance? Or some other spiritualist? He raises an eyebrow. Surround.
We do know someone who has, on an occasion, performed acts of spiritual, I think you call it, right?
Wait.
That's what
See?
that's what Eckhart does, right?
Eckhart. Okay. That's what to say. If you're talking about Jessica.
I can.
You can.
Potentially.
I'm pretty sure this is Eckhart's feat.
Mostly Eckhart, though, yes.
We'll ask him when we get Trey. Sir.
Well, should you, any of you, find some certainty, he looks at you all strangely, a little confused. Should you find some certainty in that knowledge, there are certain rituals that can allow one to zoom across known places. But it is quite taxing. I would be hesitant to teach it to one who is unsure of their mental capacity, as the most powerful rituals can drain one of thy spiritual power.
And that I will definitely like, creep over to well, I can never get the name right in my head suddenly. To Lucius. I'll come up upon Lucius and clap on the shoulder and say, "Well, he's definitely unsure of his mental faculty, sir."
Yeah.
How much mental strain would we be talking about?
He peers at you. And what is your character's amount of mental MP? Line points.
70.
He stares at you for a second as he seems to be sensing how much you have. You, with the spiritual power that rests within you, and he glances at your alchemist bag and looks back at you, I would say that you have a great potential to enact such a ritual. But as you are now, it would empty you out. Fall just short being able to withstand it. Not unless you had a ritual item to carry you the rest of the way. He effectively has told you that it would cost about 80 MP to do.
Yikes. Okay.
Hence why he says a ritual item, because that cuts it in half. Like, yeah, no, you don't have enough MP for this ritual.
Well, we can always find a
There.
griffin wing too.
That's
Griffin
usually the
feather.
easier option.
Right.
So, back down the steps, huh?
Oh, if you wish to leave, you merely must ask.
Well, before we go, I look around. I sort of like, is there a window in this tower, or didn't you say we're looking out across the Darklands anyway? Like there's great big open areas we can look out?
Yeah, you're looking out to it. You're at the top of the tower at a vantage point.
Right. Well, I'm saying, well, it's getting awfully close to the midday mealtime. I know this opportunity may not come often. Would you like to share a meal with us for lunch?
Though, the offer is appreciated, but there is much battle to wage before I can sit and rest.
Well, then I will hop over to him and I'll say, "You seem so lonely, though." And then I give him a hug around his knees.
He rests a hand on your head.
Yeah,
Better to be lonely than to watch the innocence of the Darklands be swallowed whole. I will suffer, but others will live.
I'll let go of my hug of his knees and back up and say, "Your sacrifice is greatly appreciated by those who know of it. Thank you, Thalios." And then I'll hop back and return to the party.
He looks for a moment to see if anyone tries to say something to again before he begins to cast a spell and banish you all off the tower. Once you were on the tower, now no longer. Find yourself
Seven's
outside
little-
the door again.
Seven was a little startled at that when you hug. If it was literally anyone else hugging the wizard, it was any other wizard, they'd be a pile of ash right now.
just like the Dr. Manhattan sort.
What's a doctor and what's a Manhattan? Funny.
Someone full of themselves and a really overpriced drink.
Ah,
Oh,
damn it! I was going to say an overpriced drink.
You were
Shit.
fast. Nicely done.
Time passes as the midday sun, such as it is in the Darklands, makes the darkness not quite so dark.
So I guess we plan to leave on the morrow then? Continue our journey?
Hmm. Traveling day isn't quite as long here. We could head back to the train and spend the night there. The first flight. First.
And then we save money on another night at the end too, so that's a good idea. I'm gonna give Seven a good look up and down. Plus, if we stay in town, I'm afraid we may be asking for trouble.
Someday they'll appreciate my fashion choices.
Maybe, but maybe in a different town. These guys have reason to hate hate that particular design, apparently.
Once we're out of Darklands.
I'm going to peer really closely at that one skeleton and see if he really is making a rude gesture or if she's making that up.
Is now.
Okay,
It has its middle finger, right?
it's funny. As we're walking away, making our way through the town, I'm going to lean in close to whoever's nearby and say, you totally didn't believe me, did you?
I admit I was like 5 seconds away from saying, "Oh, and did you slay a dragon while you were gone too?"
I've never actually seen a dragon.
Me neither.
You don't want to. Doesn't bring
Right.
us darkly.
Okay, I'll trust you on that one.
Radius nods. The memory washes over his face, but he lets it go. Maybe just gives him a comforting look, but you know, they're both on the job, so they kind of focus on protecting Lucy.
Did he have that far away look like he was in another lifetime ago for about 5 minutes?
Yeah. The Legion
Poor
has
guy.
seen many dangers, as Lucius knows.
He'll get a hug too when he least expects it.
Yeah.
So, back to the train then? Or are we gonna poke more wizards in their towers, says Vibius. A little alarmed by everything that just happened.
Look, honestly, this is fairly par for course I'm starting to find.
I promise I won't just randomly go and visit the rulers of the next town we visit. I swear.
See,
I'll raise my right hand.
I don't know if I can hold you to that.
I promise.
Yeah.
Look, you gotta understand, my plan was not to have him like teleport me up there either. Okay? I was actually going to like make myself look like one of the guards, preferably a high ranking one, and sneak in and scout the place out, but unfortunately he noticed me first. And I know y'all
That's
don't believe me,
worse.
but that was my plan.
Yeah. You just wanted to sneak into the crazy, scary wizard tower?
Well,
Rising over the dark woods?
I have a pretty good reason to think that I could do it without being detected because of my unique nature, or apparently not as unique as I think. Oh, that's another bit of good news. He told me I'm not the only one of my kind. And I smiled real big. There's more of me out there.
Terrifying.
Ah, I look dejected.
They all do.
My ears just droop down by my shoulders.
They all do the whole, and she waves around her arm vaguely.
I don't know. I've never met any of them.
Hmm. You should ask.
But hey, at least we have one more powerful arcanist old guy that we can count on as a possible ally in the future, right? It's a contact.
Count on might be a strong word.
Well, I'm pretty sure if we do him that favor, we'll be able to count on him. And it's not like it's any skin off of our noses.
Mm. Yeah.
I mean, what have we got to lose?
Never ask that.
I just,
You have questions again,
already did.
inevitably horribly.
yeah.
We
Unfortunately, I
we
already asked it.
we stand to lose quite a lot considering the stakes.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Against the stakes, what do we have to lose? We may as well risk it all. Because if we fail, there will be nothing left. I mean, you literally just hit my point for me.
Or I move countries and change my name. Let's continue the adventure.
Give you a big thumbs up.
You all
Well, I guess we're heading to the train then. Yeah, sure.
you all walk back out to where the train is because remember it was parked away from Grimwatch because it's not on the Phantom Rail.
Yep.
The ley line rail. You do notice that Alexander Eckhart is not there anymore, but you do find a letter saying off hunting criminals will rejoin soon. And then a big fancy flourishing signature that's very hard for you to read, but you guys have seen this seems to be you make out that it says Alexander Eckhart.
Hmm.
Wow. What do we do now?
Well, I mean, he caught up with us in the maze. Think he can catch up with us here.
Does he have a mount of his own so that he can chase after us?
Probably more of his dark magic or whatever that silliness was. Why didn't we tell him he was an entropist, by the way? Because we don't tell everyone what we know, Vibius? And if it is an elven wizard in a tower? You know you can
Yes,
teleport with entropy. I don't know if that's a thing.
I mean, probably. I don't know.
Yeah.
I sort of had the impression. I know I'm not normally one to come to Lucius's defense, but I was sort of more under the impression that Lucius just didn't want to tell a story that was not his to tell.
Suppose the young master is not one to brag unless it's for himself. Or his family. Vibius kind of shrugs at Lucius. Umbrinius gives Vibius a look like, you're really testing this guy, aren't you? Please stop.
Well, I'll dig out my scroll case and lay out the map on the counter that we've got set up by the captain's station. You know, the navigator station, basically, and I get it all set up and, put heavy objects on each corner of it. Or clamp it down or whatever they have there set up.
So you're off to journey once more across the Darklands?
Yep.
First tile won't matter to your... won't be where you encounter anything. It'll be the second tile, but we'll draw for the first anyway. You can re-roll it or not if you wish.
Traveling.
If it's just a regular one, we'll just pass through. I'm not really worried about tempting fate.
That's hilarious. That's
Oh no.
We get another metropolis or another.
It might be time to use that reroll.
Oh right.
I was expecting cliffs or mountains or something. Oh, it's a
What was
town.
that?
It's a village.
Right on the in the hex neighboring.
Pass by a village. Choose to stop there or not, but your ley line's kind of taking you past it.
I don't think we
Nah.
need to stop. They don't look like they've recently been like set ablaze or attacked by armies of undead or anything unfortunate, do they?
But they might be a good place to stop on our way back or
Right.
something.
I'm just saying, if they don't look like they're in desperate need, we should just pass on.
Or that we shall. Let's continue.
Ha ha ha! Oh,
Another one.
Oh no, it's even worse. It's even worse.
Let's hear it.
Well, this is weird, actually. I'll figure this out. All right, cool, wonderful.
What?
If it's really bad, we can re-roll it. So let's hear it.
So
Is it a metropolis?
I just nodded like you could see me. Yes, you see. Oh no. No, hold on. I'm in the
How
wrong-
does this work?
So actually, it's
The
worse.
joys of random.
Click. You actually see that this metropolis, though once grand and large, and probably was a rival to Coriastellum in grandeur, it is instead a massive water flooded ruin.
Oh, that's awesome!
That
It
is awesome. Is that where one of our places might be, perchance? That we need to, search for an artifact in.
And you do, in fact, see something in the center of this ruin, as if
I
it
love it.
jutted out and obliterated whatever what was the central keep and city hall that kept this place alive, as if its very heart was torn out by the ground underneath it.
Water temple, water temple.
Water.
No, my gunpowder.
No, my God, that's funny.
You
Water temple.
see the center of the town is of all the town, this large jut of rock is surrounded in a fog of darkness, as if the clouds themselves descended and turned to black soot, like a fire burning subtly and softly. And your train, there actually is a train like a ley line changing station here, which that's the first I'll point out. Everywhere else you've gone to, there has been like, if there was a station, there was tracks, so they knew that someone built to go their way. This place is built as if the ley lines were tracks. So it's a train station where when you look, there are no tracks, but as you get closer and closer, you can see the light of ley line going into it and then back out of it again.
So they knew about these ley line trains that you have here. Cool.
Just means this place is pretty old. May I make a rough estimation as a ruins delver myself?
I'll give you insight as part of it. +2 because you're from the Sultanate.
Can I make an assist of myself as a lore master?
You certainly can.
I'd just like to point out now that all of you are going to be glad that I took Amphiba now as one of my mutant forms, because I
That's
can totally breathe underwater.
5 + 5 + 2 is 12.
+1 because assist.
I don't know why. Because +2. Oops, that's my mistake.
Ooh, so
So I correct the math. but
13
yeah.
then?
oh, okay. So you look about, and
That's
And it
critical, isn't
doubles.
it?
Yeah, you got a critical 7. You rolled a 5 and a 5.
You can set back the main
set back the
doomsday
clock.
clock.
Yeah,
Set back the big doomsday clock.
if you want, or whatever you want to do with it. Yeah, but you totally got a critical success on that.
Let me see what I can get with the critical success.
Oh, I'll throw up the community thing.
Well, I'm mostly worried about that green one that's on number 3 because it's advancing quick and we don't know what it is.
Mm.
Like that's the furthest along. We should probably be worried about it.
Oh, okay. I'll leave. Sorry, I just saw something weird in my things. I think that's supposed to be there. Do. Opportunity. For the player.
Just say information favor, or we can reverse progress.
Yeah.
GM, how old is this city? Before I make the opportunity choice, can you tell me about it?
You learn. Whoops.
Yeah. You might find out enough that you say, I don't feel like learning much more about it right now. I'd rather race the clock.
This was once the metropolis of Eclipsara. It was a land. It was a city where the greatest entropists of the countless realms peered into the secrets of darkness and learned of the darkness between stars and the darkness between each of us. It studied the end of things and the control therein. It was a place where once the countless realms were without the pillars upon which we all know, where the life stream was far more understood, far less understood than it is now. But grand cities, much like those that your sultanate studies, stood proud and floated across the sky. This place is an ancient city that is of similar period to the ruins that your sultanate seeks. And in fact, if they knew of this place, they would definitely want to send a team of archaeologists and high nobles to plunder. Well, plunder is what most would do, but study this place is how they would say.
To claim as an heritage place, yes, expand our borders slightly to encompass it in order to protect it for historical purposes.
Yep.
And
I
Lucius is sort of looking at the map at this point, and he's saying, I wonder if the people of Grimwatch expanded out from the ruin.
I suspect Grimwatch came along much, much later.
Yeah.
And not only that, but I also suspect claiming this area for a heritage value or any other value probably can't really happen until Morwenna has been dealt with, since she maintains control over the Darklands until she is defeated.
All right, we'll do the progress. As much as I would like to do information.
Yeah.
So which clock are you winding back? I assume you don't want to advance any of these doom clocks.
Ooh. I'm not playing as a villain here. Not unless they pay me an exorbitant amount of money. I'm kidding. I wouldn't.
Oh,
this one will be going back.
Oh, this one? Okay. And it reduces it by 1, 2?
2.
Up to 2 sections.
Imagine you want to wind that back the full 2?
Yeah.
Short-term doom clock goes back. It seems you all have been making great... For all the delays you had in Grimwatch, you have made amazing time on the ley lines to this place.
You're welcome.
Yeah, because it's all pretty well settled area, so the ley lines are probably in a lot better shape.
Yeah.
I figured because of my amazing driving. Anyways, she loads her new two-handed pistol and pops some ammo in this pocket and that pocket and that pocket and this pocket.
I go over to the exit and say, remember, if it gets necessary, I can totally turn into a creature that can breathe underwater. and see clearly there and so on, so I can rescue us if we get in dire straits underwater.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be useful.
I'm sure I'll be fine. After all, the people of Coriostellum are nothing if not a maritime.
Yes, but they're not here to rescue you if you can't swim.
I
Out
can
of
swim.
character.
Hmm?
Character, which one of us can swim? I think it would be really funny if Lucius never did.
Oh, I learned how to swim. If you, for those who don't know, Corios is a city built on canals. In fact, these ruins before us remind me a lot of it in that way.
Almost like an omen, says Imbrinius darkly as he looks around. Because it does strike you, this city looks very similar to Coriostellum.
But presumably all the water is the water flooding it is not intentional.
Yeah. Yeah, not intentional at all. Although that huge jut of rock in the center of town probably isn't helping this place at all.
Yep.
Does it look like the rock maybe fell from the sky and just landed on top of the center of town?
Or
Demolished
yeah,
everything underneath
yeah,
like a
does it-
meteor?
does it look like it just landed here, or does it look like it emerged from the ground?
Right, it's one or the other, and I'm wondering which.
It emerged up out of the water.
Okay,
Okay.
both are cool, but I was
As
wondering
you
which.
because you can kind of see there's huge like chunks of what was a castle or manor house of some kind that are kind of sprawled randomly across this what was a metropolis.
I'm going to point out those areas to Seven and say, I bet if there's valuable items to be found, they'll be around that area.
Yeah, anything high up wouldn't have been pilfered as much. Anything deeper in as well.
Well,
True.
and the good news is, if this truly was once truly a central area for entropic magic, then it wouldn't surprise me if Eckhart will be drawn to this place like a moth to a flame.
Well, we can also assume he's probably going to be following the ley line tracks anyway, so I don't think it'll be too hard for him to locate us. He knows where we're going.
His map would probably have the same information you guys have. He knows what he knows what you know about the rails, if nothing else.
Yep. I mean, it's not like we can go off rails.
I mean,
We could, but we'd leave the train behind, and we don't want to do that. Not for long. Yeah.
But his journey won't be too bad. He'd be even if he's walking, it'll take him 2 days to get to, and he goes through a village first before he comes to the metropolis. So it's not going to be too bad a trip for him, even if he goes the slow way.
All right. How do we want to do this? I guess we want to put together a plan of a scouting plan, marching order.
Indeed.
What? What are we doing?
Indeed. Vibius and Brinius, I say we should probably take the front. Seven, your little companion there might help to get an aerial view.
Beep boop.
Yeah, of course. Note that there's something left behind here. They didn't all leave in a hurry. Someone might have a nasty surprise or three. I mean, I'll work at taking them out.
Now two more and Aether fall into line.
I don't mind taking the rear guard if you would like me to.
Sure. I'll take Midgard.
I'll take the back line and keep my eyes open and my ears wide.
Yep.
Where doth the party journey? The metropolis is massive. There are huge districts, chunks of it. I will say there's a good about 1/4 of it that's pretty much just underwater. If you wanted to go to it, you'd have to go underwater to get there. But a lot of it's still pretty above water because this place was massive. So a lot of it's still above water.
I'd like to just go ahead and let everyone here know, if it comes to scouting out places that are extremely high up or only underwater, like if it becomes necessary, I can do either.
Well, and we do have Seven has the aerial drone, so
Both.
True, but
The-
an
the
aerial drone
drone
can
ain't
like
smart.
carry big things like I could.
Yep.
Like I could probably like transform into a creature and actually carry someone with me, for example.
We'll see where it goes. So what sort of, you said that we can tell that there are sort of sections to this giant city. Like what can we make out of the sections?
You look around a bit. You do like from the station. You can kind of get a pretty good idea. One area looks to have there's a central plaza looking area. Well, central. It's a little further away from the Great Jut, but there looks to be like a dry and cracked massive fountain. Some sort of statue. So it's probably once was a market of some kind. And there's like little buildings that kind of remind you of Grimwatch, where the central market has like a central plaza for everyone to put up their little Zard tents, and then there's like the standing stores that are always there. There is another part of town that has various spires that are now cracked and crumbled.
Any spires that still stand?
There's a couple, yeah.
Okay. I have an idea. I'd like to take out my one true map and zero in on the detail of just this city on that map. See what we can compare and contrast with what's on the map versus what we're looking at.
Oh,
To get,
brilliant!
in order to get additional, additional insight on what we can make out of what the town once was versus what it is.
Because yeah, that map might date back to when this town was like
It was
still
thriving, exactly.
when it was thriving.
Give me insight as part of it, because that's allowing you to make some deductions based on what the map says about this part of the area. Because there's like little notation of something here. Like, okay, wait a minute, that's talking about
Any
Luminous
modifier
Spire,
bonus?
Twilight Plaza. Okay, hold on, that means this. That probably means that.
Any modifier bonus to the roll?
The map's making this possible. This roll would normally, I would say, there's no way you could know this, but the map kind of helps you figure out something that you.
Anybody want to help me, or should I
Sure.
go for a reroll of some sort?
I'll throw in as a lore master. I know how.
10 so far.
Hold on.
I was gonna say I didn't need to necessarily lead the roll either. I just thought of it, but I did lead the roll unless someone else wants to say they did.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's 11.
I'll try to
That's
assist as well.
Yeah, unless you guys call it, I just take whatever hits the table first. So be careful,
Fair
guys. that
Well,
can
I mean, I am
that can
double
backfire pretty
D10,
bad
so
on
I
you.
Yeah. The truth is, I am good for the roll. I just didn't roll great. It happens.
Well, you're at 12 now.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's a solid roll.
Looking about, you think you study the map. So that looks like based on this, that first bit I was talking about was a sort of plaza where market stalls and stuff were. Luminous Spires were where a grand library of shadow was, and the Academy of Luminous Studies was. And you notice that the jut of rock stands where another grand building was. The Umbral Scriptorium. No, Umbral Scriptorium, am I right? No, it's not the Scriptorium. Hold on. I'm mixing up my places.
What is the name of the city according to the map?
Oh, I was right the first time. The Scriptorium of the Eclipse, Doi. First time.
Oh, didn't didn't Seven determine the name of the city?
Yep.
I may have missed it. I'm gonna get it in my notes.
Eclipsara
name of the city?
is what Zevin knew it as. And your notes confirm that, like that was its name.
Right.
There's
What
more
did you say it was called? I'm gonna write it down. Sorry.
I'm gonna stab someone in the leg.
It's Eclipsara. Just hover over it on the map.
Where? Where did y'all write it down?
If you hover over the city on the map,
Oh, well, that I'm not even thinking.
I have
Sorry.
tooltips.
I see it now. Thank you.
Did you know that you can press B to open your menu?
No, I mean, I just didn't even know that you could mouse over things in the D20 map and get stuff like that. No one had ever taken advantage of it in any other game I played before. Thank you.
Elsewhere in this metropolis, there is a residential district where there is. It's known as Shade Haven, so that was like a village of its own, and then the capital built up and joined Shade Haven, so Shade Haven just became the place that was part of the larger Eclipsara. So it's a lot of housing, and apparently it was a great place to live. Lots of rooms, plenty of space, nice housing. Doesn't look that good now. A lot of those houses are pretty close to the ground. They're maybe 2 stories, and the first story is pretty full of water. There is
Property values are just below sea level.
There is the Umbral Quarter, which was surprisingly that's not where the rock juts out of. This is the area of the city that was where grand halls and council chambers were. There's the council hall of the Eclipsara, the Hall of Records, and the Umbral Throne Room, which is odd given that this has a council throne room but no king's castle or anything like that. So there may be some ceremonial thing to the Umbral Throne Room, but you're not sure. The map doesn't help you figure that out. There is Gloomforge, where there's various forges, artisan guilds, and workshops. There is... I was wrong, sorry. It's not in the Luminous Spire district where the Scriptorium is. The Scriptorium is in the Eclipse Sanctum part of town. That's where the Scriptorium of the Eclipse is. That's where the Chamber of the Umbral Quill is, and the Hall of Prophecies. Except that's where the rock is. The rock basically obliterated the Eclipse Sanctum, where, like, on the map, it's a very, very super important place in this town, and you look up, and there's just this huge thing that's consumed that part of town.
Right. Well, if we...
must have dumped to one side.
Yeah, I was going to say, if we look at it carefully from the way it popped up, where did the building actually end up afterwards? We can go and investigate that area first.
Which building?
The area where we think that the Umbral Quill would have ended up after the rock erupted beneath the building.
It's hard to tell from here. It could be consumed within that rock, or it could be somewhere in the town. But looking around, you're seeing, imagine a building that was upright, and then some giant uppercut it into the sky, and it kind of tumbles through the air and smashes.
So you're saying it's here, there, and everywhere?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell what building was what this thing arrived.
Well, we're just going to have to search all over then. I look excited, actually. Like, I'm thrilled to search all over this place. It looks cool.
There is...
This will be quite the discovery.
There are 2 more districts. 7th district is the Veiled Gardens, where there is the Fountain of Echoes, the so-called Whispering Grove, which is kind of you figure out that it's kind of a euphemism for a graveyard. They just don't call it that. They didn't call it that back then. It's kind of a way to attract the undead there, so they kind of called it something else. So Whispering's kind of
I would also like to continue avoiding undead if at all possible. Especially underwater undead. That feels like that could be particularly problematic.
The last district is the Shaded Docks, which that's the part that's basically underwater. That's where all the piers were. There was a shipyard, and even like an additional wharf. Like this place was like a maritime, bustling town, city.
Corby, I apologize. I would like to apologize to you, but if you wouldn't mind quickly running down areas 1 through 6 again. I didn't get to add them to my notes because I was trying to find the name of the city at the time. So if you could just tell me those names, I'll add them to my notes right now, one after the other.
You can just drop them in chat.
Or that would work too, yeah.
Yep.
Copy paste.
Because I wanted to get all of it down, but I was, at the time, couldn't locate where you'd put the city. I was trying to get that down, so
Just give me a
I
moment.
missed it.
Give me a moment.
So sorry.
Okay, just yeah, I'll find you 50s in it. Trouble.
I don't even have 50s in it.
Well, I guess you go into debt. Find a gangster
No, I
of some
don't think
kind
so.
and colorful outfits.
Yeah.
Uvar.
Boy, all I can say is this map and travel rolls have been amazing ever since we got it.
Yeah.
It's been so useful and so fun
Oops, I was about
to have these crazy travel rolls in our favor now.
Boop. There you go.
Funny. Thank you so much.
Sitting here.
And I got the other, the ones after that, the Veiled Garden and so on.
So, what do you all do?
We've got a lot of options, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, no lack of options. Which area is the least underwater?
All of it is underwater to some degree. I would say was the Jut of Rock is the most dry because it is the one that towers over the whole thing. The next highest place I would say would be the Twilight Plaza.
Hmm.
Well, I know we're not headed towards the Whispering Grove. If we can help it.
Agreed.
Can you remind me what the Veiled Garden was?
That's the major area. The graveyard's a sub area in that.
Oh,
the
the
garden
Whispering Grove
town.
is within the Veiled Garden? Okay.
Well, Chamber of the Umbral Quill.
Yeah. Unfortunately smashed open. So we could check the areas around it.
Hmm.
So there are 8 total areas of town with a bunch of smaller areas inside each one?
Yep.
Okay. Make sure I got it right. All right. Thank you. Wow.
The Metropolis place is huge.
Yeah.
Like 8 towns all joined up to each other. Like hell, even like I said, even Shadehaven was its own little town. Like the town, like Shadehaven was its own thing. The docks were its own thing, and then the sprawl kind of ate them all up into one massive city.
And you said the area that was destroyed by the rock was the Umbral Quarters, basically?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Why don't we check out Shadehaven first? Or would it be smarter to check the Luminous Spire?
I mean, I think. Well, it depends what we're looking for. If we're looking for information, yes.
Right.
If we're looking for resources, I'd say either Twilight Plaza or Gloom Forge.
Well, we're most likely to find the thing we really here for, if it's here at all, near the Eclipse Sanctum, right? Where the Scriptorium once was.
Right.
But if we're not looking to like rush this and we want to like actually look over this town and give it its due diligence to see what we can find, then we can save the Eclipse Sanctum area for last. And of course,
Well,
there's also a
we
good
prob-
chance that the artifact we're seeking has been absconded with and left this city entirely a long time ago, and it's not here anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we have enough time to visit everywhere,
Right.
because like we've spent multiple sessions exploring like cities that are like half the size of this.
Well, I'm not saying we should explore the entire town at all. I'm only saying we probably want to explore more than just the one thing we're looking for, though, right?
Yeah, right, yeah.
Like
That's what I'm saying. It depends
it's
on whether
it's
we're looking for info or stuff.
right. Well, it's like Seven said. This is also like an opportunity for cultural discovery and understanding that we may never get an opportunity to do again.
Also,
Like-
money.
Great information and money, but great information could be had here that could always be useful to us forever.
Well,
You know,
for
information is the currency that you never have to spend.
yeah, then that's going to be either Luminous Spire or Waters.
Well, we gotta get to the center of town first. It's not like you can teleport there. And also, the building we were looking for is currently in pieces around the area.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, we're gonna have to search multiple places anyway. I'm
So,
just thinking, where shall we begin then?
well, actually, here's a good question. Which do we figure is easier to get to from where we are, the Luminous Spire or the Umbral Quarters?
That's a good question. And what areas do we have to travel through to get to them?
Yeah.
So what I'll say, travel rules wise, the wrong thing. If you, without an inventory item, well, actually, I'll put it this way. For 2 inventory points, you guys can have a sort of bit of rope and grappling to kind of, and bridge type stuff to kind of get you from building to building, so you never actually go in the water. You're just kind of traveling from top to rooftop or from second floor to second floor.
Yep.
If you don't do that, the danger level of this place is high, so it'd be D12 reduced to D10. If you use special tools to help you stay out of the water as much as possible, that's the higher danger levels because you're swimming for most of it. So there's stuff in the water that could attack you, or you might run into something in there that you don't want to be swimming into. If you're going building the building, it drops it down to a D10, and because of Seven's ability, it drops it down to D8. So it's the difference between D10 rolls for travel or D8 rolls for travel.
Right. And of course, the higher the die size, the more danger you're.
Yeah, because if you get 6 or higher, something bad happens, and if you get a 1, you get a discovery. Well, sorry, 1 and 2 because of.
Could I bypass the inventory cost by having the ability to fly?
carry everyone.
But the rest of the party's still screwed.
No, I understand. You're saying the whole party doesn't have to pay that each; and just pay it once by somebody, and then we all have that, right?
Yeah, because you're using it. You're probably like I would imagine you like throw over like a hook and grapple and rope, and then everyone walks across and then take the grapple.
Right,
back.
right.
Seven's gonna pop open a locker on the train, which is just full of adventuring equipment, and she's gonna take some stuff out of it.
2 inventory points later, hey, who knew I'd need this? Who carries 100 feet of rope and a grappling hook all the time? I do.
Okay.
The only place that's higher than that is the Sunken Docks. That one is automatically very high because there's no above ground way to travel there. You have to be deep underwater to get anywhere useful, and that would drop it from D20 to D12. So that's probably the dockyard's the most dangerous place, just because you guys most of you aren't underwater people.
Ah, this is such a cool location.
Right. Well, I was also imagining there may be like one of these sections of town is sort of the central area, and then the rest of them sort of arrayed around it for the major locations. So would we have to travel through one location to get to another one?
Not so much, because if you were to go somewhere first, narratively speaking, the Twilight Plaza would be the most central, the most equidistant to all other places. other than
Okay.
Umbral Quarters because it was the most central. But
Well-
the next central spot would be Twilight Plaza. But in Fabula Ultima, unless I'm like dungeoning it out and actually saying this area is that you have to do a roll to go from this area to this area, you can kind of traverse the town however you like because it's not really the town isn't designed to prevent you from moving around. It like a
Okay.
proper like castle or dungeon.
Well, I was thinking because it's ruined and filled with water in a way that it was never originally designed to be, it could be that difficult to get around. So I was just trying to like figure it out in my head. I guess the big question then is the train station that we're currently on top of, I guess,
Mhm.
assuming that we went up there to look at the map and look at the town from, a vantage point above it a little bit. What part of town is the train station in amongst these sections of town? Like, where are we now?
It would be closest to Shadehaven. Like
Okay, so we're
Shadehaven's the place.
basically
You're probably just out. You're just outside of Shadehaven because that's where the train station, quote unquote, would have been.
All right, first to Shadehaven, then to Luminous Spire.
sounds good to me. Sounds
Make it.
logically good. To me.
Right. So I'm gonna be rolling not d10s but d8s. Travel
Just to
Shadehaven.
confirm with you, Seven, your robot is always on lookout for us. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay, good.
Arrive in Shadehaven. This part of the journey, the first bit's pretty easy because it's get off the train and walk a little. Oh, this isn't
that's
so
Discovery,
bad.
isn't it?
Oh, it is a discovery. You're right because it's 1 to 2 because of 7. Never mind. So,
It's either in the Whispering Alleys, the Shadowed Park, or in the residences of the Forgotten. A discovery.
I'm gonna need multiple pins because it's massive.
I'm so sorry.
Well, no.
It's okay. I'd like
your...
to point out, just on a metagame level, I love the names of the various sections of town. It's so evocative and very well done. Thank you very much, Corby, for all this info you put up here, because I really love it.
Very welcome. Oh, that's what's useful. I will say that in the Whispering Alleys, that were betwixt the buildings, and the maze of buildings and high places, thank you for the hydrate, is you can see there are specters and ghosts that meander about. But surprisingly, none of them have that malice about them. There's none of that dark regret that some ghosts and terribly destroyed places are. And actually, for Zevin's sake, you know that one of the great dangers of ruin diving is the ghosts that remain. Like, it's not the machines are dangerous enough. It's the people who used to live there who don't go back to the Sea of Souls, and they can be pretty bad, especially if they inhabit one of those automata. Now you have a spirit-empowered super machine. Like that one you met on that tower earlier in your adventure? Imagine that, but there's a bunch of them all throughout a massive city.
Yeah, it's a story that she tells over lantern light, in a very dark train in the middle of nowhere, but with the hands that reach out from the wall and grab you.
It's why presumably hang on. It's why presumably the Sultanate sends out like massive exploration team with
Yeah, at least one of them are cannon fodder.
armed escorts. Like ruin delving is probably like full military expedition for them.
Yeah, it's just only run by the government. Anyone else going in there is trespassing.
And God forbid you hit something you don't want to hit. It's like, thanks, this ruin's already dangerous. You made it more dangerous. You're going to prison.
They think they send you to prison.
In the Whispering Alleys, there are people who meander about, these ghosts who do see you, and you almost feel they don't make the motion of waving at you, but there is a sense they are seeing you, and it's like they're going about the facsimile of what was their life. And you almost feel like they're greeting you. but you don't see that characteristic wave or hello or bow. It's just feeling you. You feel welcome here. Like this place, you get the feeling also that if you're certain types of monsters don't come into Shadehaven because of these. In fact, I will go so far that as you get to the Shadowed Park, you notice that this area, there are various ghostly animals and people and their families who are having their ghostly picnics. There's nothing for them to eat. They're just kind of making the motions as if there was something there. But this is actually a safe place to rest. You can actually rest here in Shadehaven and be perfectly safe because monsters aren't. If any monsters do come here, they're gonna face an army of ghosts who'll chase them out.
I'm going to mark that this is a place of rest at the Shadowed Park. And I'd also like to ask the group, is it possible that we could communicate with these spirits for information? What do y'all think?
It's worth a try.
They
I,
seem friendly enough.
I don't really talk to ghosts.
Well, you don't understand. I actually have. Let me double check and make sure I'm not misremembering here. I have learned a spell from an undead species, which means I can briefly shapeshift into a ghostly creature because I learned that umbral breath attack. Or actually, I have ember breath and I have umbra. What creature did I learn umbra from? Can you remind me, DM? It's the spell that puts shaken if I get an opportunity effect.
Umbral breath, was it?
No, it's just called umbra. I think it was from a ghostly creature in the dungeon. I can't remember.
I don't know about that. Hold on, I have to check my monster.
Well, I noted that it was from an undead species, and I don't think I got it from a zombie.
Rain, where is it?
It is a 10 plus number of targets, cost spell, type dark, high roll plus 15, up to 3 targets. And if you get an opportunity on the attack roll, then you can also apply Shaken. I'm pretty sure it was from a spirit enemy of some sort. I really should have just wrote down the name of the creatures, but I'm only required to note the species that I got it from.
Yeah, that was from a skeletal mage. Okay.
A skeleton mage. Okay, got it. But the reason I'm mentioning that is because it means that I have, in the past, temporarily shapeshifted into a creature that they may be able to communicate with. Maybe we can use that. I don't know. And it's also possible that my chimeric ritualism could come in handy for this. Because I did take ritual chimerism. Or chimerism, however you pronounce it, sorry. Is there any way I can leverage any of that to give me an ability to communicate with these spirits? Or does it not seem possible?
I would say insight's part to answer you.
Okay. Well, I'm good at insight, so we'll double insight that and get a 19. Wait, something's wrong here. I think my stats have a buff on them that they shouldn't have. I apologize. Let me re-roll that. I did. I had a buff from the last game. Many apologies.
Oh, you don't have D12.
I didn't realize I was rolling the wrong dice. Still, 13.
13? The ritual that you would want to do to speak with them is spiritism. Ritualism could probably do it.
I think I actually have regular ritualism. Let me see. Is that under magic or? Yeah, I have both chimerism and ritualism.
So you could try to do some form of ritualism to do it, to speak with the souls that wander,
Okay.
or a soul. The more souls you're trying to talk to at once, the harder the ritual because you're trying to hit people. If you
Well-
change yourself into a skeletal mage even briefly, you don't think that will go over well here.
Okay, so I won't do that.
It's the wrong kind of undead.
Fair enough.
Well,
Well,
I will say, in a different part of town, it might work, but you get the feeling here you don't see any other skeletal mage equivalents or even mage likes, so
Right.
you
well, we're
might be
not
misconstrued
guaranteed
as
friendly
a hostile.
spirits in another part of town either, though.
Yeah.
Can I identify any of these spirits that look like they might be someone who is either in charge or
No.
like not just people who are doing like, having, like you said, picnics and whatnot, but like somebody who's going about their rounds, like pretending to be a guard or something of that nature.
They're very indistinct. It's hard to tell what
Okay.
any one of them are. Like you can tell that this person's walking from here to there. That could be because of a patrol or because they just like walking or something.
Could be anything, right? Okay.
Even the people in the park could be having a picnic or a strategy meeting. It's so vague, it's hard to tell. It's almost
Well,
like
if
they're
I-
barely here. Like if the Sea of Soul, if they
Yeah.
were just a tiny bit closer to the Sea of Souls, they would return to it.
Is there
Like something stopping them from doing
do I think I could enact a ritual that could help them move on?
it. You could. You might be able to
I'm gonna-
connect that bridge to. You might be able to
Yeah, I'm
create a
going
sort
to
of
ask
ritual
the group,
bridge.
do you think it would be worthwhile to help all of these spirits move on into the stream of souls where they belong so they can move on their journeys?
If they want to.
Well,
I don't know. They all seem rather comfortable where they are.
I feel like if something's holding them here, it can't be good for them. I mean, I'm no spiritist expert, but I'm pretty sure spirits are meant to go to the Sea of Souls where they can return one day back to the realm of the living. Uh, I do feel our prime goal here is information, but it would help me sleep at night if I knew that I had also done something good while we were here. I'm going to look about the place and see if I can locate any objects that would aid me with the ritual. And
You'd have to search the houses to do it.
okay, are we going to take the time to do that, or are we going to move on? I'll just go ahead and ask everybody. Do you want to take the time to communicate with these guys, or shall we just continue? I'll leave it up to the group.
Well,
They might-
like I said, if we can talk with them, that is probably a good thing.
All right, well, I'll search some of the houses then. I'll take the time to start looking around and see if I can locate objects that will be useful to the ritual.
And as you start walking into these people's homes, spirits do pay very close attention to you moving around. As you see the ruin of people's cooking areas and bedroom, there are lock boxes and private places. There are upper floors, which are far less flooded, but and far more intact. Various remnants of what was.
I have a question. Can I identify one of the bigger, nicer homes in the area that looks like someone of importance lived there, or at least someone of wealth? Because it would be such a big, large, well-appointed home.
Tap on the brakes a little. I was going to say something to you. But
Well, not because I want to rob it, but because I'm thinking that would be the kind of person we'd want to communicate, someone well-educated. Devin might want to rob them afterwards. I don't know, but my thinking was, I was thinking someone like that would be more likely to have information we could use.
On one hand, Seven could rob it. On the other hand, it might make all these ghosts
Really mad.
very.
at us.
Yeah.
Yeah, they might be very put out if you take things from them. At least wait until we're done with it, right? Oh, it's all right.
Yeah, exactly.
I knew you were thinking it though.
So, you do find in your search a house of well-appointed and withstood greatly the flooding. And it is in this place you're able to find what appears to be a bell, that is a little worn. It doesn't look quite as gleaming as it once was. It was once upon a time a bright, shiny gold, or at least gold leafed or covered or plated. But it has decayed. But even still, as ancient as this thing is, it looks really good. And you recognize it as a town crier's bell.
Perfect.
So this is probably what once was the town hall or the mayor's house. Although Shadehaven really wouldn't have a mayor by this time, but they probably have. This is probably where the town crier or the officer, the district governor was housed. But that bell is a ritual item that will help you speak with dead or interact with the dead.
Well, I know gold itself doesn't rust or decay, but the if it's like brass and then gold plated, the brass would need to be polished up and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
So it might be brass or silver or gold. Silver would tarnish and brass would tarnish, but gold would be fine. It doesn't rust. But I'll give it a good cleaning. Like, I mean, I don't have material to like polish it up beautiful or anything, but I can at least clean it off and treat it with respect.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll let everybody know if they would like to help me with the ritual. I believe we can share the mind point cost among the group. Is that how it works, or what? Or do I just pay it all myself and the item reduces the cost? I don't remember. How do these rituals work? I've never actually done a big one, I don't think.
For you?
I'm probably thinking of a different game with the whole share the cost thing. In which case, I apologize. You know how it is, wires crossed.
So yeah, when you do it as a group, it just means that other people can roll to assist. Even if they don't have the ritual ability, if they're assisting, they can still help.
Gotcha.
It's just that the leader has to be, the leader who's spending the MP has to be a person who knows how to do the ritual.
Right. Well, I have ritualism. Does anyone else here have ritualism?
I do.
Okay. You're more than welcome to help if you like.
Sure.
Anybody else who wants to help, stand in certain places and whatnot.
So what
Say
ritual are
these
you
words.
trying to cast that changes what the MP costs?
Okay, so the ritual I'm looking to cast is the one that will enable me to contact the spirit who is most associated with this bell. The person who is in charge of ringing it and telling the town news, or the person who kept it on their desk as a keepsake because they were in a position of power or holding office, something of that nature. Like, I don't know who I'll get, but I'm thinking somebody who is strongly associated with this bell would be appropriate to get information from, and hopefully we'll be able to find what we're looking for faster by talking with that spirit.
That cost would be 40 mind points, and your target number is 13. With the bell, that reduces it to 20. And
Okay, great.
I will say to you, before you get ahead of yourself, this is super important.
Sure.
The minute if you use this bell for a ritual, it's gone.
What do you mean? The bell's gone?
The bell's power will fade.
I see. So we'd have to find another object if we want to do a different ritual later.
Yep.
I don't think that would be too much trouble in a ruin this size. So I am not going to be concerned about that, personally. I feel like in a ruin as large as this, finding objects that will connect to important spirits is probably not be that all that incredibly difficult. But if you guys have different thoughts, let me know. I'm more than willing to hear you out.
I'm fine with it.
7 more?
Your choice. I can't do rituals, so.
I'm good.
All right, well, I'm going to do the ritual. I'll spend the 20 mind points.
This is
And
specifically
make my roll.
insight willpower. That's how rituals work.
Okay, so I don't get to do any picking. That's fine. And did anybody want to actually help me before I get this first roll in?
I will note to everybody, anyone can assist. I will warn that if this fails, something catastrophic's going to happen because the ritual's done incorrectly. Anyone who is assisting will suffer the consequence.
I'll assist.
I
What was that, Lucius? You cut out.
I don't mess with rituals.
Okay.
You don't? Okay, then.
Devin, you're staying out of it, I presume?
Not skilled with magic.
Yeah.
Okay, and there's no modifier to the roll, correct? It just reduced the cost?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, that is not a great roll. I would like to call to my
Hold on. I
Yeah.
will, because
yeah, can you do a thing that gives me a reroll?
Give him a second. He's reading something.
Yeah. It's too bad it's forced willpower insight. That's weird.
That's Fabula Ultima. Certain
Yeah.
things are locked in no matter, because it's making certain things harder to do.
Sure.
Because rituals are super powerful. They let you do a lot. They don't let you do combat stuff, but they really help with exploration and stuff. So you can do very widespread things with them. So you have to kind of box them in. Otherwise, it goes crazy.
Well, I mean, at least I haven't rolled bad enough to like create a catastrophe, right?
I mean,
Oh, dang.
failing is that's
Yeah,
why failing sucks.
I'm planning to re-roll one way or the other. I'm waiting to hear.
so you still have to provide your traitor bond.
Okay. Well, I have a trait of inferiority towards Lucius, and because of it, I will not allow myself to fail in front of him here.
So
That's
that doesn't
why I
give you a
wanna-
reroll. It gives you a +2.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, plus is it +2 bonds, or is it plus the strength of the bond?
Well, I have 2 bonds with Lucius, so if it's strength of bond, it'd be 2.
Give me a moment to read it.
Certainly.
And More Duncan has given you a +1.
Your target's 13, so they you. That's why it's really important we figure.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Bond strength. Good gravy. Go there. For each emotion in the bond, strength of the bond increases 1, up to a strength of 3 if you have an emotion. Alright, yeah. Trying to find it. Oh, there it is. There it is. No, that's. Hang a sec. Yeah. Man, I'm struggling to find it. I was able to find it before. Now I'm trying to remember. Invoking a bond. Good God, that took me too long to find. Sorry. After performing a check, you spend a Fabula point, invoke a bond to add the strength of that bond to the result. Okay, yeah. So if you
Oh, in other words, I would just add 2 to my result and be done.
Yep.
Oh, well, that's worth it then.
Yeah, unfortunately that
'Cause
wouldn't be
that'll
enough.
succeed. What do you mean it wouldn't be enough?
It's 13.
Oh, I need a
isn't it?
13. Yeah. Okay, well, how do I do a reroll then?
You could spend Fabula of your own.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll spend Fabula and go for the reroll.
You need to invoke to reroll. You need to invoke a trait that makes.
Okay, in that
explains
case, I am invoking my trait of belonging because I feel so strongly that these spirits need someone to contact them. Like I
Yep,
feel like they're trapped here between life and death, and that conversing with me might help them somehow.
You might want to just only reroll the d10 because you already rolled pretty well on the d6.
Oh, can you choose which one you rerolled, or?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. If you rolled well on one but not on the other, you
Okay, well I'll just
roll
reroll the d10
one.
then.
I'll take that trait, by the way. That belonging makes sense.
Yeah, sure. Here, I'll put this out. How do I drag it out? Just like that? There we go.
I threw mine out on the table as well.
Why'd you throw yours out?
Because I had to spend it in order to get the... Like, that's the cost of doing my trust in... I have to spend my own Fabula in their place.
Oh, so Rune, you take that Rune. Take that.
Oh, so you're saying I didn't spend mine? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, no. Well, if you're gonna re-roll instead of... Oh, if you're just re-rolling and not taking the improvement? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, I don't get to take the improvement if I reroll. It's one or the other.
Yeah, okay. Cool. Then yes.
I can't give myself the point back. I don't know how to do that.
You right click and should be able to take card.
Oh, thank you. That did it. Thank you.
And then roll a d10.
Yes, much better. Okay, so that's 4 more than it had. So instead of a 9, it's a 13 plus what people are adding. But yeah, I still think
+1.
that my my in-character trait for not wanting to give you ammunition to look down on me more with is still a big part of this, right? Like, I really don't want to fail where you can watch me.
and then this is funny. I have a bond of mistrust towards you, and because of that, like, I see you doing the weird shit, like weird magic shit. Just please don't get us all killed. And because I have a bond towards you, you regain 20 mind points. Because that's what my trust towards you does, in addition to letting you get the reroll.
Good. So you actually saved.
Get your mind points back.
That basically costs you no mind points. Good.
Nice.
Yeah, that does it.
Thus, a spirit approaches you, indistinct in its form, as you ring the bell and chant out along with more Duncan, summoning the spirit who once held it. And then when some of the spirits come by to see what the bell ringing is about, mostly out of habit because you're ringing in the town crier bell, so they're paying attention to whatever it is you're doing. But one of them walks up, and then you recognize that this spirit is trying to get the relic from you, so you hand it out to him, and the bell fades. And as it fades, you see a translucent individual kind of appear floating without any feet off the ground, dressed in long, flowing jacket and with a big vestment scarf hung about his neck, big smiling face on him.
I'll bow to him in a friendly manner, a friendly greeting bow. Say, greetings, sir. I called you here to ask you for news. I take it news is something you're good at relaying?
He nods.
We seek information about. Can lean back to more Duncan. What's the name of the artifact again?
No, or quill.
The what quill?
The Umbral Quill.
All right, right. We'd like to know about the umbral quill. Where can it be found now?
He points to the jut of rock.
You mean to the top of the rock or into the rock?
He tilts his head, considering. He then he clenches a fist in front of his self, and then taps the top of his fist, and then shakes his head no, and then he opens his fist a little bit and points into his palm.
Under it.
Or inside of it.
Yeah.
Points at
I'll
more and
nod.
nods.
Yeah. I'll nod and I'll say, are you and your companions here about the city? Are you safe here or are you trapped here? Do you need our aid while I have this conversation?
He tilts his head a little bit. He looks around, back to you, thinks some more, looks a little surprised by whatever it is he just realized, and then kind of puts his wrists together and kind of makes a motion like he's trying to pry them apart and he can't get them to do it. Then you see him kind of shrug, and then he lets his hands drop down.
I'll turn to Moore and say, well, if that is an admission of them being jailed here, I don't know what else is.
Yeah, if we could get them freed, it'd be a good thing, I think.
I think it would indeed be something, a great boon to this however many hundreds or even thousands of spirits may be trapped here through no fault of their own. I'll turn back to the spirit and say, what keeps you here? If I may, if you can possibly relay it to me somehow.
He points to the rock and shrugs.
Well, that keeps things simple.
Yes, it does. So either something has the quill and is also holding all these spirits hostage, or the quill itself is holding them until it is freed from wherever it is. All right. Thank you very much. And if my friends and I can find a way to release you to complete your journeys, we will do so. I will bow to the town crier.
Spirit turns and begins moving the bell like as if to ring it. You hear no sound. You see him mouthing that he's doing some sort of crying, and as he moves further and further away, he becomes indistinct again. But you notice as that particular spirit's moving around, now you can't tell that it's ringing a bell. But you notice the spirits are moving differently. They're now reacting to that spirit doing something, as if. And for a brief kind of cutscene moment, we flash over to a memory once upon a time where this town crier happily went up down the streets telling people all the good news that was known in Eclipsara.
Cool. Can we get any sense at all of how long ago that might have been?
In the times before the countless realms were shattered by great upheavals, time where the desert was not a desert but a grand sprawl of land.
Long time ago. Okay. I turn to Moore and the rest of the group and I say, I don't feel nearly as drained after that as I thought I would be. Thank you all so much for your help. I believe that your belief in me has aided me more than I expected it to. But I believe now we know where we need to go. I'll give Moore Duncan like a friendly chuck on the shoulder with my little tiny fist. Thanks for standing with me. It means a lot to me.
Glad to help.
So now that we know where we need to go, where do we want to go next? Because obviously we don't necessarily need to beeline there.
That's a good question. I'm fading a little bit, guys. Not gonna lie. My lack of sleep is catching up with me.
Uh-oh.
Mm.
By the way, your number 3 clock has refilled itself.
Yeah, you guys
Okay.
have spent quite a bit of time in Shade
Oh, okay.
Haven.
2 more sections refilled while we've been here?
Uh-huh. Been here a
Wow.
long time.
I didn't realize we'd been here that long. How long did it take me
Yeah,
to
it's a
gather all
big
the stuff
city.
to do the ritual?
About a section's worth, and then actually talking to the guy and slowly figuring him
Okay.
out took another. Well, actually,
Got
one
it,
was
got
just discussing what you guys were going to do. That took so long, and then actually doing the ritual
Gotcha.
took up another one.
So this green clock appears to be related to our local town area.
I'll say mechanically, I'm treating the mini doom clock as whatever danger you're closest to. It won't usually fill if you're just walking around, but
But
it's
if
not
we're
it's not a
wasting
grand
time or
doom
something,
clock like the
right.
big red ones. If a big red one fills, that means something really bad has happened.
Right.
But the green one's just a not good thing will happen. Things will escalate.
Oh, okay.
Well, so we don't want to, like, if we do something, we need to make sure it's something worthwhile.
Mind you, if it fills, not an instant death. It's more of a, and if it is, I'll highlight it. It'd probably be red or blue because those are the more
Right.
dangerous colors to me. Green's kind of eh. It'd be bad, but not terrible.
It'll be an inconvenience.
Well, I guess
Uh,
we could consider. Well, obviously, we're going to leave the residencies of the Forgotten in the Shade Haven area completely. Does that mean we're going to go straight to the, what's it called, the Gloom Forge? Is that, or is the Eclipse Sanctum where we're going? Or do we want to go somewhere else?
Because we want to try to find the eclipse, the chamber of the Umbral Quill, right?
Right, that'll be in the Eclipse Sanctum. It has several locations within it: the Central Garden, the Whispering Grove. Oh, sorry, the Scriptorium of the Eclipse, the Chamber of the Umbral Quill, and the Hall of Prophecies.
I think the question then is how many more areas we have to pass through in order to get there.
That's a good question. From the residence of the Forgotten in Shade Haven, how far are we from the Eclipse Sanctum?
You can get there in a single travel roll.
Well, let's head there then. Maybe we can set up for next game session before the end of the. Be prepared for like a big confrontation just in time.
Well, this turns out.
Oh, another discovery! Dang. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be even without 7 thing going on.
That's pretty
Another
good.
big- This is-
I guess we're gonna have to look at our opportunities again too.
Hmm?
Or is that
No,
discovery?
That's
Oh,
what
that's
Discovery
different.
does.
Sorry, my bad.
Yep. So, as you come to the Great Jut of Rock, where once the Eclipse Sanctum stood, you find, before you even get there, that there seems to be a camp that has been a full archaeologist's, a Sultanate archaeologist's base camp.
Oh,
Yes, you're gonna. It's a good thing you're in the lead.
this would appear to be a sultanate nature, wouldn't it? 7?
I guess they tried to move in here and it didn't last long. I think the flooding or the monsters or the ghosts got them.
How old does this camp look?
This
That's a
looks
good
pretty
question.
recent. Like,
Are there-
maybe a few
Last
days,
few
maybe a
years?
week.
They've only been gone a week, huh?
So you're saying it's
mean-
not a currently occupied camp; it's a recently left camp.
Like, they established a
campsite.
base camp. They basically created their own rest site that they probably did camp actions in, and then went into place. So there's
Went into
probably a party
whatever they
people
went
in
into.
there already.
Okay. Well, then we need to hurry because if someone else finds it, we won't have it, and we need it.
I will point out, nothing here. There's no one guarding any of the stuff here.
Well, the rule of the desert is finders keepers.
Wow.
And you are, well, of the Sultanate, 7, who would know what's useful to us in a camp like this.
So
All
we're
right.
free to claim whatever we like here, really?
I'm gonna quickly pick it over. But we gotta make tracks in case these guys come back.
I'll give Dex as part of it because you're trying to do this pretty quickly. You don't want to be scrounging around at someone's pack and they come back.
Do I get any bonus from my
I'll give you +2. This probably isn't the first time you've robbed an archaeologist camp, I'm guessing.
I don't know. She's such a gremlin. She may not care if they catch her.
I got a new gun I do need to test out. Well,
Our heroes, everybody. God.
Our heroes, everybody.
I love it.
I prefer the term hero in quotation marks.
Right.
I'm the hero you guys need, not the hero you deserve.
I just love the idea of Aether, foolishly wide-eyed going, is that really how this works? This is totally okay, right? And I'm taking, someone's money pouch and putting it in my pack.
Like, yeah, sure, totally. Just go quick.
Well, you have the plausible. Well, now 7. You have the plausible deniability of the fact that you're from the Sultanate. So, in theory, any of the Sultanate, any of the standard issue Sultanate equipment could totally be yours.
Yeah.
Um,
I have trust for whatever you tell me,
12,
so,
you say? 12's your number? Plus the 2, so that's like, what, 14? Or did you add that in already? You added that in. That 12 is the proper number. There.
Would I be helping since I'm also gathering since you said it was okay?
You could. That'd be Dex is the start. Half the
Yeah,
problem,
that's
I should
fine.
say.
I'll throw in one. Why not? It could only
Lucius
help.
Abr-
So.
Lucius, Umbrinius, and Vibius are just keeping a watch out.
Yeah, that adds a +1, so we're at 13 now.
13, yeah.
Like you're sure it's okay, and we're just gathering up everything in sight. It looks valuable.
Opening up foot lockers and stuff.
Oh, hey, rope. That could be useful later.
So that would be
Stay vigilant, men.
1's not 10. So
I feel like the conversation Lucius has with men is all right, everyone. All right, men. Keep an eye out. Let me know if you see anything suspicious. And then Vibius says, "Oh, I see some thieves," and he points over to 7 and Aether.
About 500 zenit worth of coin and precious gems are found across the camp.
Nice.
Mine.
We're not splitting that? Wait a minute, I helped.
That's what you both found together. How much in
Okay.
totals here?
Well, we split it.
Thank you.
Oh, and you find something else here because you got a pretty high roll.
Seven asked for more, but you haggle it down to half.
I thought I was completely broke before I really needed that.
You give her
Oh.
give her the sad bunny eyes, and
As
she
you rob
caves.
this place, a certain doom clock goes
Oh,
up.
no.
As the Sultan of Doom clock goes up, a certain archaeological team is going to be a lot poorer and have a hard time getting home because of you. You just stole their travel money.
Yeah, I don't think we sound too guilty. We don't feel too guilty about
Oh
it, do we?
no!
That's funny. Our heroes, everybody.
And then
The poor Sultanate.
Oh no!
Hmm.
don't worry, they'll just take it out on their indentured servants. Fine.
Oof.
You mean another word for slave, right?
That's
I mean, you know.
Are we the baddies?
No, we're definitely not the baddies. Although it's funny this came up is just reminding me of something that I learned recently. Does anybody know the origin of the word robot?
I mean, it's Russian.
Yeah.
No, it's actually not Russian. It's Czechoslovakian. It's from the Czech language. Robota is the original word, and it actually means slave or slave labor. Isn't
Ugh.
that interesting? The real meaning of the word robot is basically a slave.
Ugh.
You see why the
Isn't that
AIs of
wild?
our future aren't going to be too nice to us.
Yeah, but I mean that's really interesting, right? That's cool. Yeah.
Oh boy. You said that we found something else interesting.
Yeah.
Speaking of interesting, apparently we found something else interesting. You know what else is interesting? Grenades.
Hmm. I'm figuring out what makes most sense for because a lot of stuff they would have taken with them, but there's something they would have left behind. So like, if we're not using it right now, we'll go grab it
Explosives?
later if we need.
Explosives.
Explosives.
Exploitatives.
Explosives.
They curse as you throw them.
That's expletives.
Oh, that doesn't help at all. I'm not giving that. That just literally an item that would do you nothing. Do, do, do. Um. Oh. No. Oh. You all find a maid uniform.
Hmm.
Oh
Huh.
no.
Huh.
It's in the Sultanate style. There's probably some servant or another that was going along with them, but they left their spare here because you need multiple pairs of your uniform while you're down there. So whenever you use a potion created with inventory points and it restores mind points, it restores an extra 5 mind points.
If you wear the maid costume.
Yep. Because it's armor.
Seven looks at it and grumbles.
Well, I'm not going to change out the armor I'm wearing, but the idea of Aether in a maid costume is just too cute to pass up for the future. So Aether will take that if nobody else wants it.
Go ahead.
What about more Duncan? Because doesn't more Duncan potions?
Oh, that's true.
I already have some armor.
Ah,
Yeah, I don't think any of us need it desperately for armor.
Yeah.
But if somebody wants it, they can certainly have it.
I'm
It's-
good.
It certainly is something you could just keep in your inventory. I've got my backup armor.
Yeah, it's if my current armor gets shredded, at least I'll have something that I can wear.
Yeah.
I will.
And
as
you
a
know,
backup.
and also of course, worst comes to worst, we can always just sell it.
Sure.
We can always put Lucius in it.
All right, so maid uniform as a
Sultanate maid
backup
uniform.
armor and select
Well,
type armor non-martial.
look, if you weren't sure that this was a JRPG, I mean,
Sometimes the joke armor is the best thing in the game. You never know
Sure.
until you put it
oh,
on.
that's so
What did
true.
it say it was? +5 mind points when you drink a potion to recover them?
We use inventory points.
5. When you use inventory, a potion to restore mind points, you get an extra 5 mind points on top of it.
Oh, potion as in the item,
Yeah.
not the like
The alchemist power.
alchemist potion.
Mind you, the alchemist power does use inventory points as well, so I would count it because it's essentially an alchemist is just making a potion on the fly, rather than a
right.
pre-made one that you buy from a store.
All right, added it up as a backup spare armor.
+1 to
Plus-
dex and +2 to insight defenses, but -2 to initiatives.
All right, let me write that down. +1 dex and what?
+2 insight.
+2 insight.
Get in the maid uniform, Shinji.
That's actually hilarious. Since there's probably a dojin where that line came out.
There was I almost gave you guys friggin' rook oh no, it would have been kind of useful, but rookie boots where it gives you bonus XP if you're below 10 XP or something like that, but that's for like level 1 low level characters to kind of help them out, but it doesn't help for it. That's not useful to you guys anymore. I'm not gonna hand that out. That's just money. I'll just give you money if I'm doing that. Why give you a useless item?
Yeah,
Well-
it is kind of cool to have items like that where they're kind of useful at low levels, and then you can
Right.
just sell them when they're not.
Well, I'd like to
useful.
point out when you say +1 dex, +2 insight, you mean +1 dex defenses
Yes.
and +2 insight defenses?
Yes.
Those aren't like plus stats.
Correct.
They're not boosts.
Correct.
Okay, just making sure.
Yep.
Because +2 insight, like if I went from a D10 to a D12 insight, that might be worth wearing.
Yeah, when I call those out, that's how for armor. That's what I'm
You mean
referring to.
defenses?
Yeah.
Understood. Okay, just making sure I understood.
Mhm.
Okay, great. And you said the initiative equipment modifier was negative what?
-2.
Got it. All right, it's down. So I got a backup if we need it, although I'm going to stick with the one that gives me a big initiative bonus because that's good for the whole group. But yeah, neat.
Neat.
Okay, then I guess we finish ransacking this this
I gotta
base camp.
feel like Sultanate Maid uniform looks like it's something out of like Shantae.
Oh yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
But like techno magic at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Wearing it gets you a disappointed look from 7.
What, when I take it?
You wanted Lucius to drink.
Oh, okay. One Lucius to wear, right?
That's for the filler episode.
Yeah.
No, it's for the beach episode.
No, it's for no, in the desert. It's for the Oasis episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a hot spring
Well,
in a desert. Sure, why not?
Well, I mean, technically, we're kind of at the beach. We could have a beach
Well,
episode.
If you
I
want to have
know.
your beach episode in these monster-infested waters, you go for it.
I mean, they do the Dragon Quest.
Yeah.
Jesus.
That was a blast. Okay, we move on from the base camp and in, I think, further on. Before we get caught, we get moving.
Uh-oh. Oh, I didn't grab you. Right, move over.
You're a great influence on Aether.
Boop, boop, boop.
I do my best.
Start rolling.
By the way, if I haven't mentioned it before, I just got a really good look at your profile picture on Discord. I really like it.
Thanks.
I like that a lot. I hadn't looked at it closely before. That was very, very, very cute.
Ornan is a very good artist.
I gotta update
Oh, you
myself
drew
for
it?
Art fight. Art fight's in a week.
Sweet. Well, it's very
Yeah.
nice. I'm
Yeah,
impressed.
yeah.
I gotta
Ornan
update.
does.
I gotta add 7 to
Ornan
my art
does-
fight.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah, you should.
I want free art. Sure.
Art of the gun gremlin.
The gremlin with a gun.
You approach jut of rock. And the camp thankfully spares you having to do yet another check to look for the entrance because the camp is situated in a spot that kind of helps you find. Because this rock is massive, I would have made you, if you hadn't discovered this camp, you'd have to do another check to find out where the entrance into the rock is.
Right. These guys already found that for us.
Yeah, so it saves you having to root around. So I'm in the wrong note. Whoopsie.
To be fair, rooting around is what rabbits are good at.
Rooting? I see. Roots.
Shush! No, 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 no. And even you watching, no, no.
Like tree roots.
No. You approach an opening where you see waning light flickering in crack of.
Well, this looks like it's it.
Yeah.
I'll peek around at it. What's causing the light?
You see that across this long, grand chamber, there are natural shadows stretching from these great bursts of light that are, some are engulfed completely in shadow, while others seem to burst past the shadow. There are statues on the walls also hold lights as well, but there's these strange stretches, as if there is some greater power. And at the far end, you can see what appears to be a massive bell.
Bell, you say?
The walls are adorned with various faded murals depicting various eclipses and various rituals and ceremonies and such being conducted.
GM, do we need a light source to view these murals?
No, shockingly.
Okay. As I said, I was about to pull out that old lamp I stole from the last place.
You know, if the place is going to suddenly be plunged in darkness, might be a good idea to have it out.
All right, I will. Jim,
I'm going to go ahead and move on in, though, yeah. Definitely carefully, though, like in case if something might jump out at me. Or a trap go off.
GM, how many points would it cost for me to
deploy her lantern spirit thing?
It costs 2 inventory points. So it will get and the benefit of it being 2 rather than 1 is that it's a magic lamp that will, you can kind of send the lamp to go shine at stuff away from you rather than you actually walking up and holding your torch up to it.
And you have a free hand, right?
Yep, it doesn't take up your hands. And it can sort of fight, but not. I wouldn't bet your life on this thing. This is a magic lamp that is the most basic form of magic lamp.
You have to pay extra for the combat models.
Yeah, something never changed. Some things never change.
I will trepidatiously take a step in looking for traps and dangerous objects and go into the corner and look around for danger. Like, I figure if it needs to hit somebody, it may as well be me. I'll go first.
This grand hall, paneled in wood, floor in random stone. These great lights, some great, some vanished darkness.
How high is the ceiling in the place?
About 15 feet or so.
Are these pits in the ground that like they look like?
That is a shadow that seems to be swallowing up the tiny moat that is still quite bright enough that you can see it even from all the way at the...
Okay, question. I see that there's like a source of light here.
Mm-hmm.
Is the darkness so thick that it blocks the line of sight to that dark? Or do I see the light on the other side?
You would see it going... and then...
So it's like unnatural darkness there. Gotcha. Because normal light would just go right through regular darkness. Fair enough.
And these little areas here are like monsters that seem to be that have torches about their heads, some magical light beaming out as
Gotcha.
well. That's why the light. That's why some of the areas in between are still
Okay.
lit. But the shadows bend in weird ways. The only hope that you know that there's a light here is that there is.
Light coming from there, right?
Yeah. The shadows are a bad guide otherwise.
Gotcha. Well, I'm going to point that out to everybody. We should probably be careful of those darkness areas. Do I see any signs of passage or bones or horrific mutilated corpses of people from the other party that got here before us?
Oh.
Good. All right.
As you wander forth, carefully and quietly, see how your journey through the ruin goes next time.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, no, there was the man. We had a lot of discoveries today.
Yeah.
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 And freaking a village and a metropolis back to back. Like that's. I mean, the metropolis unfortunately was where ruin was, so I was like, well, that's a destroyed metropolis now.
I mean, that makes it cooler.
Well, it's certainly
that was
interesting
so-
that, like, we found all these places that used to be and are still populated, all in the Darklands, which are supposed to be abandoned monster-infested territory. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. So for all of you watching out there, thank you very much for watching. For those of you playing, thank you very much for playing. And we'll see you again next time. Bye.
Hey.
Bye.
Woo. So long.
That was a blast tonight. I had a really good time. That was fun.
Oh,
Yeah. This is currently like one of my favorite locales to explore.
Agreed.
This place is cool.
Make it better next session. Put on the OST for Drowned City of Scala from Final Fantasy XIV.
no, I'll get struck.
No, I mean personally. You can just put it on.
Just put it on for yourself.
Yeah.
Hey, wait a minute. What's wrong with my music?
You don't want it to play on the screen just so we can hear it. Yeah. Oh.